Good evening. My name is Shane Santos. I am the Planning Ops Trainee for California Incident Management Team 1 with your operational update. Starting off in Branch 25 up here near Lake Almanor. This is Division November. Our resources continue to have a presence in the Dyer Mountain area, and we are pulling the hose out this area. The line is secure, and we continue to patrol and mop up and remove any unused equipment all along the perimeter of the fire. As we come around down into towards this is Fruit Growers Boulevard here, and down into Antelope Lake, all that is looking real secure. We continue a tactical patrol down through the Antelope Valley or Antelope Road here into Genesee Valley. This is all looking real secure all the way around the bottom of the old Walker Scar from 2019. Coming across here, the top of our fire here over into towards Black Mountain. All this is looking real secure. Crews continue to patrol, mop up, and remove any unused equipment. Off the escarpment from Black Mountain down to the 395, we still have a few heat signatures that we're working on. Coming across 395 here, everything is looking really good and secure on the fire's edge. Moving up the escarpment and down into Dixie Mountain. This here is looking real secure. And coming across into Dixie Valley, we continue to have a presence, and we have a lot of folks in here gridding, mopping up, and patrolling the area in and around the communities. Coming across over towards Lake Davis, all this line is looking real secure, and we continue to gain depth as the days go on, all the way up into the Grizzly Ridge area. In this area, we're 150 feet in of mop up all along the Grizzly Ridge, all the way up here to Devil's Punch Bowl area. And then from the top of Grizzly Ridge, we have a piece here that's been an area of concern for the last week or so since we took the fire. This area here is really steep and only accessible by foot. So we've put a hotshot crew in here, and they are working this area. We did fly it with aircraft today to validate that there's nothing outside of our line, and they continue to work this area with hose lays and continue to mop up the hot spots. Moving up into Taylorsville area and all through Indian Valley, all this area is looking really good. Line is secure, and we continue to have a presence in the Taylorsville area as well as the Genesee Valley area, and answering any calls for service. Coming along down Mountain Huff here and down and around towards the hill of the fire. We continue to have a presence in here as well. Tactical patrol, some mop up. We are finding a few smokes here and there, well interior, but we continue to have this presence all the way to the hill of the fire down here in Story. There is one area that I wanted to address up here in the Janesville area. We did have this large spot fire. So we'll start up here in the Janesville area off the 395, and we'll come around up the Janesville grade. All this line is looking real secure in here, in and around the structures, down in towards Antelope Lake here. Everything's looking real secure. Continue that tactical patrol and mop up all along the fire's edge here, and coming back around the south side of this spot fire down the escarpment and down back in toward the town of Milford here. And all that's looking real secure, and we're looking at backhauling equipment and continue to have a presence.
Good evening. I'm Chris Carlton, Forest Supervisor here in the Plumas National Forest. Thanks for joining us for this West Zone update. A couple of things to pass along. First, want to recognize that we are looking around this map, feeling in a little better place than we have been in a while. But I also want to recognize that as we've continued to see throughout this season, we need to not take anything for granted. And so I want to reassure everybody that as a combined incident, we continue to put people out there and make sure that all of these areas have staffing, have focus, and we continue to focus on suppression aggressively first and foremost around this fire. And we're not going to stop that until this is out. So wanted to wanted to remind everybody you will continue to see firefighters out there everywhere all around this fire working aggressively to make sure we have this. Even in those areas where we do have that black line out there, we know we need to not be taking that for granted. So second thing I wanted to talk about is information sharing. We've been doing these community meetings every night, alternating back and forth between the East Zone and the West Zone. As we've seen some conditions change, we've gotten a little bit more containment, and maybe we're in a little bit better place, even though there's still that risk out there. We may be looking at adjusting how often we're holding these meetings. We've seen some of the attendance drop off a little bit. We want to make sure we're continuing to meet your needs for information, but we may adjust the schedules a little bit, and we'd appreciate your feedback to make sure that we're continuing to get you the information you need around this incident. So thanks again for making the time to join us. Have a good evening and stay safe.
So coming south from the 44 and the 89 intersection down towards Old Station, we're looking really good there. Same kind of progress. We're line is in. We're doing a lot of mop up, and we're having a lot of success in that. As we come down a little south of Old Station and towards last Volcanic National Park, we have a piece right through here called Baker's Peak. It's in an old burn scar with a lot of snags, a tough piece of ground to get people in. We have 2 crews in there today with a couple dozers. The dozers are working on the forest end, on the last national forest end, to tie into the park boundary. And from there in the park, we'll pick it up with hand crews. They're working their way through the snag patch to try to go direct in there and cut off that piece of fire that's trying to creep through a snag and brush patch. A handful of days ago, there was good fire behavior in there that we didn't feel comfortable putting our crews into. We hit it with aircraft real hard over the last few days. It's mellowed out the fire behavior, and crews were able to get in there and get engaged. So with a combination of aircraft and the hand crews, they're making progress with an expected being able to tie that piece in with hand line by the end of shift tomorrow, which would be the 14th. So that's all really going well. Continuing south down through the park, line is holding, engaged in mop up, and then further south, coming down through this country, the mineral area and south, things are looking really good. We've got black line on the map, but we're still in there patrolling and making sure things stay where we need them to stay. The other thing that the West Zone has going on is all the area around Lake Almanor and Round Mountain out to Janesville is all being in suppression repair. Mainly with CAL FIRE resources, we're in there pulling hose, pulling pumps, repairing dozer lines, and generally cleaning the area up from a suppression effort, making it look like it did hopefully before we all got engaged in here. Things are going good. We have aircraft flying on rotor wing and fixed wing. And
good evening. My name is Steve Watkins, incident commander of California Team 14. Also in command with my team is Jay Kurt's team, Team 1. We took command of the West Zone this morning at 07 from CAL FIRE Team 1. We actually been here for the last 3 days downloading with California Team 1 to make sure we had a seamless transition of command to make sure it didn't disrupt any operation tempo on the incident over the last 48 hours. We had a good download with them, and I want to thank Nick Track's team for all the extra information over the last 48 hours so we can get a good understanding of the West Zone. So thanks. I want to give him and his team a shout out. Just to follow up on what the operation has said, our number one goal is the north edge of the fire up here, obviously up here by Old Station and across Highway 44, is to continue on. We've got line around that, but to continue on strengthening that line and securing that perimeter with more boots on the ground, either by air, hand crews, heavy equipment, and engines. And that will continue to go on over the next several days. As that goes on, we'll continue on with our mission We had started down in the south part of the west zone and continue on up north with some fresh repair as we move on. And once we can get this established as we move on with that fresh repair, some of the stuff will hold us in check, especially Old Station. Hopefully we can start considering to repopulate those areas for the next 48, 72 hours. We're not there yet, just due to we need to make sure we have those areas secure. That was one of several of our challenges as we are here in this time. One of the things I also want to mention is the weather has been a challenge over the last several weeks. That's been one of our issues, and we're dealing with really critical fuel conditions and seasonal drying. But it looks like we had that rain a few days ago. That did help us on the west zone, but the east zone definitely got a little bit more than we did. We got a little bit on our side of the incident, about 1/4 of an inch. That did help us over the last couple of days. Obviously, but as things are drying out, we still have critical areas that we need to continue on focusing on and popping those areas up, so keep the fire in the current perimeter and footprint it's in. Lastly, I want to say thank you for allowing us this evening to have the time to speak with all of you. Appreciate you taking that opportunity. Next time you will see myself in operation from the West Zone will be Friday, September 17th. That's when the West Zone will take the lead on the Facebook live feed. So once again, thank you for the time this evening, and we look forward to talking to you then.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Deb Bumpus. I'm an agency administrator on the Dixie incident. And I wanted just to point out a few things that are going on the fire at night. And I'm sure you would have heard those from the operations folks anyway. But just want to kind of reinforce some of the activity. If you'll look at the fire, we still have a lot of active line up here in the northwest part of the fire that's in the park and outside of the park and to the east of Pack Creek. So those are the areas that we're really focusing on. It's a priority area for us over the next few days. You know, we got rain a few days ago. It's drying out already. Temperatures will be back up again. So those would be very critical areas for us to keep an eye on to make sure that we don't have any additional spread. The rest of the fire, you know, here's where we started the fire in July the 13th in this area. So they've already started suppression rehab in that area and moving up here. And really, that's why these black lines are here. So they're really doing a lot of work on the old dozer lines. The forests are also looking at some dozer lines that are in strategic locations that we will keep open and manage those as open areas for potential future fires. It just helps us get to those fires quicker and provide some breaks as those fires come about the canyon. You all know that happens a lot, and so a really good strategic approach to managing those in the future. So also, we still have a closure in the fire area that includes this entire fire footprint on the Lassen. So just be aware of that and know that we will try to open up areas as it becomes safe for the public. So thank you very much. You all have a good evening.